What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and today we got some major news out of the Montana Senate election for 2024. Conservative businessman Tim Sheehy launches U.S. Senate bid for Jon Tester's seat. Yep, it's official. The first major Republican has announced his candidacy for the Senate seat. And it's been, a big question mark for who should Republicans run against Jon Tester. And as many of you know, I support Matt Rosendale. And we're going to be going over the last time this unelectability argument some people are pushing on Rosendale is nonsensical, and why Tim Sheehy may be overrated. Now, before we continue today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below. Guys, go follow Real American Politics on Twitter. It is a great Twitter account everyone should follow. Of course, follow the Rumble page down below for exclusive content. And of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $3 a month, you can join Real American, which is a phenomenal deal, as it helps support the daily content we all know and love. You love the daily content? Well, this is the best way to support it. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. So Tim Sheehy, he's running for the Senate seat. Conservative businessman Sheehy launched a Republican primary bid for the U.S. Senate on Tuesday, hoping to challenge Democrat Senator Jon Tester in what is expected to be one of the toughest Senate races in 2024. The Montana Senate seat is critical to Republican efforts to capture the Senate majority. In a minute-long video posted on Twitter, Sheehy, a former Navy SEAL, talked about serving in Afghanistan before moving to Montana with his wife to start an aerospace company. "Whether it's at war or business, I see problems and solve them," Sheehy said in the video. "America needs conservative leaders who love our country, and that's why I'm running for the United States Senate." Well, look, here's what I will say about Sheehy. His announcement video was not that good. I'm not going to show it here because it's not that long, but it wasn't the best thing in the world. It mentioned a lot about, I served in Afghanistan. I served in Afghanistan. Okay, you say it once. You don't make your entire ad about, I served in Afghanistan. Yes, I'm thankful for your service, but why should we vote for you? Well, I served in Afghanistan. That doesn't mean that, you're automatically the best candidate. And you look at his campaign page, which I can't even show, because every time that I try to even click on it, the antivirus on my computer goes nuts. And I think a bunch of other people are having the same issue. So we're not even going to look at it, but from the screenshots I saw on his foreign policy stuff, this guy seems like a war hawk. Which it's like, why? Why do Republicans like these neocons like Sheehy? Which again, he may not be one, but it's like, he talks a lot about, America needs to be the commanding leader of the world, and we need to be involved in other countries' affairs. It's like, why? Sheehy is running a state that is reliably conservative in presidential races. In 2020, President Donald Trump won Montana by over 16 points against Biden. That same year, incumbent Republican Senator Steve Daines fended off a challenge with then-Governor Steve Bullock, a Democrat, in his re-election bid, winning by 10 points. And this is what I'm telling people. This is the big thing about Montana people just seemingly ignore. They think it's like Maine, a D+8, D+9 state. But instead of a Democrat, it's Republican, R+8, R+9. It's not. It is not this, it's likely Republican. That's baloney. All right, sorry about that cut, everybody. I just had to bring this up. But look at this. This is an R+16.5 state. Trump won the state by over 100,000 votes, and it's not trending Democrat. Far from it. It's probably actually trending slightly Republican. Now, people are going to say, you see, Steve, the state of Montana is a big elastic state. there's a lot of swings in the state of Montana because, it's very elastic. Yes, there is some elasticity to the state. That means there can be one election where the Republican wins by 15, the other Republican may lose by 10. That is a state like Montana, kind of. But here's the problem with that thinking. Look at the 2020 Montana Senate seat. This was Steve Daines going against Democrat Governor Steve Bullock. Now again, I know that Steve Bullock, he was a governor, but that doesn't mean he's a senator, and Steve Daines was the incumbent senator. Look at this. Bullock won, mind you, in 2016 by a couple points. And he got crushed by over 10 points in Montana. He only did 6 points better than Biden. And okay, let's say Tester does double that. He does 12 points better than Biden. In that scenario, if 2020 is the exact result, or 2024 is the exact result as 2020, he still would lose by 4. So it's like you start to do the math, and realistically, no matter who he goes against, you need to do 16 points, or let's be nice, 15 points better than Biden to even carry the state of Montana. That's double what Susan Collins needed to do. And I know Susan Collins won by, 8. She did like 15 points better than Trump. But guess what? Maine is far more elastic, far more independent-minded, or I should say, a bit more independent, not just, there's just a lot of independent voters in the state of Maine. And also, you had ranked choice voting that kind of messed with things. Either way, the point is, you have to do that just to even squeak by a race. Susan Collins won by a lot. She did 15 points better, and that was a landslide for a Senate seat. Here it's like, Tester has to do 15 points better just to maybe barely squeak by. Do people understand how difficult that is? And in 2018, he won by 3.5 points in Montana. This is the biggest thing that people say is the reason we cannot run Matt Rosendale, because Tester won by 3.5 points. Well, guess what? This was during a blue wave year. The Democrats won the popular vote by 8. And this is when Tester was still seen as a true moderate. It was before the impeachment vote. It was before the gun vote. There were some bad gun votes Tester had that I think do a lot of damage to him. And this was when Rosendale, he wasn't that well known back then. Sure, he was the state auditor, but it's like, that doesn't mean he's the most well-known guy in existence. He's just, all right, he's a statewide official, but not like attorney general or secretary of state. It's kind of just, some like second tier or maybe even third tier position. It's like running as a secretary of agriculture in Iowa. Yeah, some people know about it, but it's like, ugh. But now he's ran statewide for federal election, and in 2020, people forget, he did win in 2020. Let me bring this up right here. Look at this. Rosendale won by 13 in a statewide election. Yes, I know this is a congressional race, but Montana's at large. He won by 13, just doing 2 points worse than Trump. So, okay, let's say, and you start to do the math, right? 2018, Tester won by 3.5 points. The same year, there was another statewide election for the for the congressional seat in Montana. Drake Gianforte, who, mind you, was an incumbent, only won by 4.5 points. So let's say, okay, Tester, he did about 8 points better than the Republicans for the other federal election, and this was against an incumbent, so you get the point. He did 8 points better. And let's say, okay, Rosendale, he did about 4 points worse than Trump. Add that up. That's a 12-point difference. If the math is correct, all right, let's just say, with all that, he did 8 points better in 2018, and Rosendale did like 3 or 4 points worse in 2020. We'll just say 4. That'd be nice to Tester. That's a 12-point gap. Well, still, under that scenario, Rosendale would win by 4. Why do people think that Rosendale's unelectable statewide? He won statewide. He only did like 2 points worse than Trump. And I just showed you the math that in 2018, compared to other statewide federal election, he did like, what was it, 8, 9 points better? So even, let's say 9 points better in 2018. That was probably a bit less, but 9 plus 4, that's 13. Even in that scenario, Rosendale, if the math just lines up perfectly, would win by 3. And plus, this is with the presidential election on the ballot. This is going to cause a lot of voters to vote more in line with the top of the ticket. It just will. And again, I know people are going to say, but Maine. Guys, Susan Collins, she had to do 8 points better than Trump to win the state of Maine. Rosendale Tester has to do 16.5 points better than Biden. Do the math. How can you say that, oh, Rosendale is unelectable statewide? He isn't. So why are we worried about it? At this point in time, it's a matter of, how, who do you want to run? Do you want to run, Tim Sheehy, who has some okay endorsements, like Tom Cotton and Steve Daines, but a very questionable record and an iffy issues page? I mean, I can't even go on it without getting a virus warning. Or do you go with the proven conservative option in Matt Rosendale, who has already united the base behind him? He's at 64%. I know it's one poll, but it's like 64%. 64. So, what's the argument against Rosendale? Okay, Sheehy has money. Do you really... This election is going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Sheehy may have some cash, but he's not a multi-billionaire. You're crazy if you think he's going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. That's crazy. And on top of that, the primary is probably going to cost $100 million because Club for Growth is saying, we're going with Rosendale. Again, just do the math, guys. Do the math on this one. If Sheehy wants to just take Rosendale's congressional seat, just run on that. So the argument against Rosendale is absurd. I'm getting really frustrated about it. We did the math. Tester did 9 points better than the top of the ticket against Rosendale, mind you. Right? The same year, people never mention this one. And remember, everybody loves Greg Gianforte, including myself. Right? People just ignore that he did 9 points better than the Democrats for the other races. And in 2020, Steve Bullock did 5 points better than Biden. And 2020, Rosendale did worse than Trump in the state. Just basic math. Basic math I showed you today. This electability argument's nonsense. Rosendale and Sheehy will run the exact same margin. It's a matter of where their money's coming from. Either Sheehy slightly self-funds or Rosendale gets backed by Club for Growth. That's the only difference. Stop pretending that this is a freaking unelectable candidate. He's won statewide multiple times. This isn't a blue wave. This is during a presidential election. And everything is indicating he's going to, if all the math is correct, he's probably going to win no matter what. I'm getting sick and tired of the electability argument. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.